Getting diagnosed with ADHD and autism as an adult can be life-changing. Therapist Sarah Lupardis, who specializes in ADHD and autism, says it's not about fixing people. It's about finding what works.
Let's do it with purpose and intention and say, I'm going to put the laundry in the dryer, and then I'm going to purposely sit down for the 45 minutes that the dryer's on and scroll TikTok, and then when the dryer buzzer goes off, I'm going to go get my laundry.
Watch our social media series on getting diagnosed with ADHD and autism as an adult on our Instagram and YouTube channels.
From Boise State Public Radio, this is The Connector. It's Idaho's Daily News. Good morning. I'm George Prentice. We've got a number of important stories for you today, beginning with the fact that this is Election Day. And we have the information you're going to need to know before you head off to the polls. We have new job numbers from the state Labor Department. Idaho lawmakers are taking the rest of the year to study the state's housing affordability crisis. Plus, we've got a very active weather picture. We'll check in with the Weather Service, all coming up. It is Tuesday, May 20th, 2025, and here come today's stories. It is Election Day in Idaho. No, it's not the first Tuesday in November, and no, there aren't any statewide races on the ballot, but there are important contests, including dozens of high-profile school board and levy elections. Indeed, there is much at stake today, and Abigail Moody has details.
From 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., polling locations are available across the state as voters make choices in nearly every county in Idaho. There are a total of 37 counties participating in the consolidated election, with various measures, such as a supplemental levy before voters in the Blackfoot School District, which is hoping for a $400,000 increase to the district's school nutrition program. Other elections include library trustee races in the Ada County Library System, plus another trustee election for the City of Meridian's library system. For information on polling locations and to see a sample ballot for your county, visit voteidaho.gov. All absentee ballots are due by 8 p.m. tonight. Abigail Moody, Boise State Public Radio News.
We have new job numbers. The State Department of Labor says Idaho's labor force increased a bit in April, but the labor force participation rate, which means those who are employed or are looking for work, decreased. As a result, the unemployment rate remains at 3.7%. There were increases in the scientific and technical, healthcare and transportation job sectors, but there were job losses in wholesale trade, real estate, and construction. The highest unemployment rate, Adams County, where it's 6.5%. Teton County had the lowest jobless rate, 2.2%. Idaho lawmakers are taking the rest of the year to study the state's housing affordability crisis and what can be done to stem its effects, as James Dawson reports.
On average, the number of homes for sale in Idaho is half of what could be considered a balanced market, according to Idaho Realtors. Last month, the real estate broker Redfin reported the median home price in Idaho was just shy of $475,000, or about $40,000 higher than the national average. Sandpoint Mayor Jeremy Grimm, who sits on the committee, says cities could help developers by identifying land with enough sewer and water capacity. He also says anti-growth advocates can currently stall projects with impunity.
Maybe there's a way to ensure that anyone making an appeal or reconsideration has to bear some of the cost, either through a bond or potentially being liable for damages.
Other early ideas floated include standardizing requirements for accessory dwelling units, or ADUs, and increasing infrastructure grants available to cities and counties. The committee will work through the rest of the year and recommend potential legislation by the time lawmakers return to Boise next January. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
Now to McCall and the question of what will define the city of McCall in the years to come. Impact areas are those neighborhoods that might be just outside official city limits, yet they still depend on the services from those cities. But a recent change by the Idaho legislature changed the process of approving areas of impact Now it's up to county commissioners to give the okay of proposed maps for cities. But when City of McCall officials presented their proposed map of their impact area, Valley County commissioners tapped the brakes and decided to get more input. As a result, people living in those neighborhoods stood before Valley County lawmakers yesterday.
To hear from our community on the McCall impact area to make some decisions on current mapping.
This is Valley County Commissioner Sherry Maupin, who said yesterday there's a new wrinkle. The City of McCall informed the county that they can't wait months to agree on a new map.
Just FYI, we have received a letter from the City of McCall invoking the 90-day rule. We weren't anticipating that, so it has shortened the window a bit on the opportunity to go back and forth with the city on information. It's going to speed up the timeline a bit on what we were anticipating for this, but I believe that they want to know sooner rather than later what their budget needs to look like, as ours as well.
So yesterday there was a workshop on this matter, and still ahead, a formal public hearing on a agreed-upon proposed map and a final decision. But as you just heard, it needs to happen within that 90-day window. Idaho continues to report some of the lowest vaccination rates in the nation, particularly among the state's youngest students. Rachel Sun is with Northwest Public Broadcasting.
This past school year, data submitted in the fall showed that, on average, 70% of Idaho kindergartners had received all of their recommended vaccinations. That's a drop from an average of 76% among kindergartners the same time the year before. The state's exemption rate remained the same as the year prior. Sean Teagues is the superintendent at Moscow School District. Teagues says exemptions are easy to come by in Idaho.
We do have an official form, but Idaho law requires that an exemption, it could be written on the back of a receipt or a half-torn piece of paper or something.
In Moscow, about 7% of kindergartners have a vaccine exemption on file. About 93% don't have a waiver, but Teague says that doesn't mean they're all fully vaccinated. I'm Rachel Sun, reporting.
Les Collin is over at the National Weather Service office. Les, happy Tuesday.
And same to you, George.
Les, it is cooler than normal, or at least it feels cooler. What can we expect?
Well, it has been cooler, yes. It's going to get warmer a little bit today. We'll be about a couple of degrees warmer today, another 5 warmer on Wednesday, and another 5 to 7 degrees again on Thursday, which would put us up in the upper 70s on that day.
How about precipitation? Are things going to stay dry at least for a couple of days?
Yes, there will be some showers in mountains north of here. I don't think we're going to get anything. If we get a sprinkle, it'll be this morning, but that's it.
And how about the long range as we're looking toward the rest of the week and into the weekend?
Well, it looks like on Thursday we might get some weak showers here. Mm-hmm. Friday, sprinkles, and then on the rest of the weekend, it's going to get quite warm. Oh. We're going to get up into the 80s on those days.
Oh, my goodness. And, of course, that's the holiday weekend, so it couldn't come at a better time.
Yep.
Les Collin is over at the National Weather Service. And, Les, thank you so much, and have a really good Tuesday.
Thank you, George, and you too. Have a good one.
And that is today's episode of The Connector. I'm George Prentice. We will see you back here on Wednesday. To stay in touch with the news between now and then, check out BoiseStatePublicRadio.org or download the free Boise State Public Radio app. And thanks for listening.